Your dog isn't suddenly becoming difficult. They're responding to a shift you didn't realize was happening. And that shift has nothing to do with obedience. It has everything to do with control. Most owners believe control is something they either have or don't have. But for your dog, it's something that's constantly being evaluated. It's not fixed. It moves quietly based on what they experience from you. At first, everything feels stable. Your dog listens, follows, and responds the way you expect. But underneath that, there's a balance being maintained. A balance between guidance and freedom. And your dog is always aware of it, even when you're not. Because dogs don't just follow structure, they test where that structure begins and ends. Not in a dramatic way, not to challenge you directly, but to understand how much freedom actually exists. At first, those tests are small, a slight delay before responding, a moment where they choose to look elsewhere, a decision to move before you've fully given direction. None of these feel like a problem, they feel like normal behavior. But each one is information. Your dog is learning where the boundaries really are, not what you say they are, but what consistently happens. And this is where the shift begins. Not in behavior, but in perception. Your dog starts realizing something. The structure they were following may not be as fixed as it seemed, so they begin to explore that space, just slightly at first. They take a little more freedom. Then watch what happens next. If nothing changes, that freedom expands, not suddenly, but gradually. Your dog isn't trying to take control. They're discovering that more control is available than before. And once they experience that, they don't forget it. Because control, for your dog, isn't about dominance. It's about understanding what they can rely on. When your signals are clear and consistent, control feels stable. When those signals shift even slightly, that stability changes. And your dog begins adjusting to that change. They hesitate less because they're unsure. They hesitate because they're checking what's possible. They move differently, not randomly, but with more independence. They respond, but not with the same immediacy. And over time, the dynamic begins to feel different. You may feel like you're losing control, but from your dog's perspective, they are gaining clarity. They are learning what actually happens when they act first. And if nothing interrupts that pattern, it becomes normal. That's when the relationship shifts. Not into chaos, but into something less defined. Because control isn't gone. It's just no longer assumed. Your dog is no longer defaulting to your direction. They are including their own decisions first. And that's why everything feels slightly off. Not broken, just different. Because the balance between control and freedom has changed. And once that balance shifts, it doesn't reset on its own. Your dog continues operating from what they've learned. And every interaction either reinforces that or slowly reshapes it. And this is where most owners misread what's happening. It feels like control is slipping, but that's not how your dog experiences it. From their perspective, they are simply responding to what has been consistently available to them. Not what was intended, but what was actually reinforced. So when they move first, hesitate less, or act more independently, it isn't a challenge, it's a reflection of what they've learned works. And that's why the shift feels gradual, because it's built on repetition, not a single moment. Every time nothing changes after they act, the boundary becomes less defined, and less defined boundaries create more available freedom. Your dog isn't trying to take control. They're discovering where control no longer needs to come from you. And once that discovery happens, it becomes part of how they operate. Not occasionally, but consistently. That's when the relationship starts to feel different. Not unstable, but less anchored than before. Because control hasn't disappeared, it's just no longer automatic. Your dog is now including their own decisions before yours. And that's what changes everything.